Hey, what's up, everyone? Mike Lowe here, simsportsgaming.com, and we are quickly jumping into episode 4 of our head coach franchise groupthink, and we are at free agency. I went ahead just a little bit from episode 3, nothing crazy. All I did is I finished up the last of the scouting that we were going to do, and I can show you those positions. It was basically all of the defensive positions. We did tender one player, and just a few other little things that we'll take a look at around the league here as we head into free agency, and we'll talk about our team plan and all of that stuff. But first, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's going to probably be the least obnoxious way that I can at least notify people without overwhelming Twitter and posting on Discord, everywhere else. Those things we'll post later, usually after the stream. And again, if you have anything you want to ask or chat about, whether it's the NFL, NFL head coach, Madden, whatever it might be, that's obviously fair game too. But we are really just looking at getting this team ready. And again, we're going to talk about that game plan. But let me get you caught up from just a few things I did. It didn't really take long. We are 7 days away from free agency. The last time we streamed, I just did that next week. And again, it was mostly just scouting, and we did tender one player. Let me show you the player that we tendered. Oh, we have some news.
I'm Todd McShay, and this is the draft preview. After putting together my mock draft, I've got a good idea of how the first round will play out. Arkansas's star running back is the best player on the board. He should be followed by the lineman out of LSU and Virginia. And then if you're looking for a sleeper in the class, keep an eye on the other Arkansas running back. I think he's nearly as talented as his teammate, he has less tread on his tires, and he'll come at a lot better price when negotiating that first deal.
There we go. A little update there, and we will take a look at that mock draft here momentarily. I hope we can get to that here in just a second. But again, I wanted to go through just a couple things with the team here. I don't know if it's going to let us see him, but anyway, I tendered a right outside linebacker. He was a 77 overall. I tendered him with a second round draft pick, which is actually what the game recommended. I don't think he's going to show up here because he's technically a free agent. We might be able to see him in the actual free agent list here. Free agency preview, maybe? Let's see. Oh, no, that's for next year, 2009. So anyway, but you'll have to just trust me on that. But we tendered him. Reason being is he was about a $1.5 million tender. But hey, if we can get a second round pick for him, that would be great. We have a really, really strong right outside linebacker in Thomas Howard. So it's not a position of need. So we mostly tendered him for getting that draft pick. If we don't get the draft pick, so be it. We can either keep him on the roster, cut him, or cut one of the other linebackers. So it's kind of a low risk with a high reward sort of situation there. As I mentioned, we did go through and do a little bit more scouting. And again, it was all defensive players at this point. And what we did is I can just kind of show you the players that we looked at. I did take a look at Derek Harvey. He was one of the guys. I was trying to look for like a true pass rushing defensive end. End isn't a big need for this team, but I figured if there's someone there with some really nice speed, and as we look at their actual player details here, their scouting details, and if they had some things like pass rush move, first step, if they really looked like a true pass rusher, I said, okay, maybe this is a guy that we could take a closer look at. Because again, maybe we trade down in the first round, maybe this guy falls, we try to trade back up, something like that. Again, end isn't a need, but it will be. And so you can never have, again, I've talked on the last stream that defensive end is one of the most important positions, I think, to build a defense around, up there with cornerback. So again, 21-year-old player, we took a look at Derek Harvey, and all we're getting at this point is the durability information and their personality, right? So again, he checked out pretty well. Nothing crazy there. And I can quickly go through these by just looking at the percentage scouted. We did not look at Chris Ellis. We must have looked at him at the Senior Bowl. So again, looking for higher percentages. Okay, no one else at right end or left end. Right end, there were a couple as well, I think a little bit lower. Calais Campbell. So again, he came back. His durability isn't great. It's not great, but it's not terrible. He's got not the greatest personality, but I really loved his size. 6'7", 290 is pretty big, but for 6'7", that's not as big as it sounds. So again, a really nice player. He's one of those rare guys that have no weaknesses, which is really, really intriguing. So that's why I wanted to take a look. And again, he's got really great speed and acceleration. He's also pretty strong, pretty agile. So again, a guy at 80 overall, this is a guy who could probably be in the second round. So again, it could be we don't have a second round pick, but again, that could always change. We also looked at Eric Baker out of Michigan State. Again, another speedy guy. He's got learning, speed, stamina as his top three, and a pretty decent size there, 6'3", 255. Very healthy. Again, not the greatest personality, but he is driven, which is really, really nice. Doesn't have great learning. But again, at 56, definitely a guy we might be able to take and work on later in the draft. And then I think we looked at one defensive tackle. I think it was just one, and it was Cedric Ellis, because I'm super intrigued by him. And I'll show you why in a second. We saw it in the last stream. But again, personality checks out, nothing big. Health, okay. That right leg's a little troublesome, but overall, pretty good health. And 6'1", 295, a little bit undersized for a defensive tackle, but as a three technique guy, that's not too bad. And I think with him being a comparison to Kevin Williams and having that explosiveness, block shedding, I mean, this is definitely a guy who can get into the backfield and get in there fast. And again, one of those guys with no weaknesses, at least according to the scouting report, which is really intriguing because, I mean, what does that mean? Again, you can see he's got really nice power moves. He's a very aware player, really high learning. Intangibles are high. Like this looks like a really good football player. And even though defensive tackle isn't like a huge need for us, you just can't pass on a guy that you might think could be a special player. So it's just a guy we're keeping an eye on. So again, that's for the defense, the defensive line, I should say, that we looked at. As far as linebackers, we did take a look at Gerard Mayo, even though I'm not really keen on picking a linebacker super high in the draft, but we are a little weak at left outside linebacker. So again, if we trade it down, if this guy starts falling, maybe in the late first round or something like this, maybe we take a look at maybe moving up and shoring up and making that our linebackers really perhaps the strength of our defense. So 6'2", 233. Doesn't have huge upsides, doesn't have huge speed. It's going to be more of kind of like probably a run stuffer there on the left side. But play recognition is always nice to have at left outside linebacker when a lot of teams run to the right. And again, hit power maybe causing some turnovers there. And again, great athlete here. Not super strong, but it's definitely going to be able to chase those speedy running backs to the outside. He'll be able to shut that down. I like that he's ambitious. Again, looks good. He's also got kind of a bum left leg a little bit, so just something to keep an eye on with Gerard Mayo. So the other linebackers we looked at, we actually didn't look at Sean Crable. Yeah, we didn't. We looked at him elsewhere. Let's see who else we saw. I definitely scouted some guys lower down here. And again, I did this kind of offline just to speed this part up. We looked at Vernon Golston because I think 6'3", 266 is probably a guy I would move to defensive end. And I think he could be a pretty darn good player. Learning score of 68, again, not great. But he's got really nice size. Again, think of him as a defensive lineman. So those negatives about zone and man coverage, who cares, right? If we put him as a down lineman, that's not going to matter. So he's got nice pass rushing. He's strong. Also has got some hit power. And again, super athletic guy who's also really strong. So I think he could be a pretty nice player there. And again, super healthy. So we did take a closer look at him. And let's see, we looked at, I believe we looked at, no, we did not look at Mike Humble this time, we did earlier. Let's see here. So we looked at a couple middle linebackers. Again, we're looking for speed middle linebackers, kind of coverage guys, going to shut down the running backs and potentially drop in somebody who can handle themselves in man coverage is probably the best way. So I didn't look at a guy like Curtis Lofton, even though he's pretty high, because his speed is 81, which seems fast. But again, these are kind of, these ratings here you're seeing from the combine are kind of like, they're slanted a little bit, right? They're kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They're scaled to the rookies themselves, right? So it's not going to literally be 81. It'd probably be a little bit slower than that. But anyway, so this guy did have good speed. So Tavares Gooden, he's out of Miami. So again, his health comes in pretty decent. Nothing too crazy in his personality. And again, speed, hit power, acceleration. I mean, that's pretty nice there for a middle linebacker. Again, really athletic, not super strong, but again, a guy that we took a closer look at. He's a guy that would probably be there in the second, probably even the third round. And we could use a backup middle linebacker. So again, I don't know if I'd use the second or third, but you just don't know who's going to fall. Very similar player. We looked at Philip Wheeler, NFL comparison of Larry Foote, 6'2", 225 out of Georgia Tech. Toughness, durability. He's got that speed, which is nice. So he's not much of a blitzer. You can see with his negatives. But again, we were able to see just some of those things there. He's actually pretty good in coverage for a middle linebacker, and that's nice. And again, really good speed. And you can see, again, he's got the driven trait. His health is a little troublesome. This guy's nicked up kind of everywhere, right? Durability of 87 sounds okay, but it's actually pretty bad for a rookie at his age. So, again, a little troublesome there. I don't think we looked at Bo Bell this time. We looked at him last time. That might have been it. And then really quick, we did look at a couple defensive backs because I really put a lot of value on corner. I did check out these top cornerbacks. Again, looking for speed, but also looking for guys who might be able to cover. We don't know much about Dominic Cromartie's coverage, but he has that driven trait, which is nice. He's got, of course, really athletic guy. I mean, look at that, jumping and everything, just crazy. 6'1", so he's got good height, pretty healthy. He's driven, but again, he's also got some kind of not the greatest personality traits, maybe a bit of a diva there, self-focused, materialistic, expressive, things like that. But again, looks like a really good player. If we just click down here, Leodis McLennan, has got a much more reserved personality, patient, humble. So again, really nice stuff here. Pretty good health. Again, even better speed, probably even better athlete here. We were also able to see his man coverage being an 86. So I mean, even though we don't need a corner, but what if we don't re-sign Asamoah? That could be a guy we certainly look at. I mean, I really like that man coverage there. It's also one of his strengths. A little undersized, but again, still very athletic player. We also looked at Mike Jenkins. So again, pretty healthy. See his personality. He's got that driven trait, speed. So again, you're kind of the same thing, right? We're looking at kind of the top corners just in case because it's such an important position. We did not look at Patrick Lee this time. I don't think we looked at Terrell Thomas this time. I think we did. No, we didn't look at Terrence Wheatley either. Or Chavis Jackson. There might have been somebody down here. I think we did look at... No, we didn't look at Dawn Tribble this time. That was last time. Any other 79% guys? Nope. So, again, we looked at a few free safeties, even though it's not a position of need necessarily, but I was looking at some guys who were a little bit further down. At least I thought we did, yeah. So we looked at Josh Barrett. Health, again, a lot of bad right legs. Driven, but also got kind of some diva traits there. But really good speed. Again, it could be a really nice project. And even though we have, and I love that big playability, by the way, but even though we have a pretty darn good free safety, again, I think sometimes it's never hurts to kind of back up your star players. Number one, depth is always important, but two, your star players can get very expensive. And so having that backup plan allows you to say, well, we appreciate your time here, but you're going to take a hike and we're going to plug in this other guy like Josh Barrett or something who could fill in. It's something the real life Patriots do all the time. They let kind of their high-end, high-priced free agencies walk. Jonathan Hefney, very similar. Again, a lower guy we could get in the draft, but maybe work on and develop. I love having big playability in a free safety, a guy who just kind of sits back in a deep zone and is going to look for turnovers and just make big plays. So again, with that kind of speed, it's, how could you not? So these are pretty interesting guys here, I thought. And then we did look at one strong safety. I think it was one strong safety because this is a position of need. And again, looking for guys with some sort of speed. I believe he's got speed. Yeah. So again, really nice speed on Kenny Phillips. I love his NFL comparison of Darren Sharper. I love that he's driven. Again, a little bit of a diva there, but pretty healthy overall. Nice size, 6'2", 202 for a strong safety. Again, big playability. He's athletic. He's got good instincts. Just a guy I really liked, and we took a closer look at. And that was the last little thing we did there. Now, I do have to back out because, as you saw, we actually missed the one of the messages expired. So let me just reload this real quick. But again, that just kind of showed you the just what you missed. We did on the last stream. It got a little bit tedious, I know, with me kind of looking through. I'm just stepping away to get my water bottle here. But so anyway, I just went through and did that part. But we are at free agency. Like, we're starting free agency here in like the next 2 minutes. So this will be really cool. Excuse me. There as I take some of that water. And again, our team plan, right? I've talked about it before. What's up? Hey, what's going on, Daniel? I talked about it before. And just generally, like with the draft, you just don't know what you're going to draft. Even if you know, we have the 4th pick, but even that, we still don't know what we're going to do because we might trade down. I would actually prefer to trade down because we have so many holes, right? So with us having the kind of holes that we do, a trade down could be really, really, really useful. So we have to be ready for everything.
I'm Todd McShay, and this is the draft preview. After putting together my mock draft, I've got a good idea of how the first round will play out. Arkansas's star running back is the best player on the board. He should be followed by the lineman out of LSU and Virginia. And then if you're looking for a sleeper in the class, keep an eye on the other Arkansas running back. I think he's nearly as talented as his teammate, he has less tread on his tires, and he'll come at a lot better price when negotiating that first deal.
So there you can see kind of you can see the different players he was talking about there. Thinks Darren McFadden's the best. I agree with that. As we saw in the last stream, I don't like his personality. He doesn't have great hands. He fumbles. He's got a bad character makeup. So really just not a guy I want to be looking to potentially build around here. So he has Jake Long and Golston going first and second. We didn't scout Jake Long. Golston we did. I doubt he's going to be there. Matt Ryan looks good, but again, I don't know if that's a guy we'd actually go and take. McFadden we are not going to take. I mean, we've kind of made that decision already. I like Chris Long, but he's more of like a left end to me. He's a big dude, not super fast, but really strong, can kind of shut down that kind of like a run stopping end. But I'm not really looking to draft that in the top 4. Again, I like McKelvin a lot, but we don't really need a corner. We would have that tackle available to us at 4. It'd be a bit of a stretch, but if we really think he's that kind of a special player, we could, but he's not really going to get on the field a lot. So again, as we look at some of these other names that we liked, we really liked Chris Williams as our left tackle. He would get some playing time right away. So as we trade down, he's kind of in the middle of the first round. How cool is this, by the way, right? An actual real mock draft. That's not just like hints of mock drafting that you get in Madden and things like that. So really, really cool. Some other guys that we looked at, I'm trying to remember here. We liked Kenny Phillips. Again, he would be towards the end of the first. We liked Donnie Avery a lot. In the last stream, we talked a lot about him and his 100 speed, right? He's pretty much the fastest rookie available, I think. So he would be available. It's too bad we didn't have a second round pick because he'd probably be there for us. But again, we liked him. So again, just kind of looking through the first couple rounds here. Some familiar names that we've already talked about. Calais Campbell, another guy that would be available in the second round with all those no negatives attached to his profile, which is really interesting to see. So we like these. There was Dexter Jackson and Deshaun Jackson. I don't know if we might have already passed Deshaun Jackson, but some nice players there for sure. So again, they just knock out the first 2 rounds, so you can kind of see some of the different things they're doing. So free agency, as I was saying, right? We're about to start this. Free agency, the game plan is you just don't know what you're going to draft. As you just saw, we could trade down. We just don't know. So you don't want to start just plugging every single hole. If you have a gaping hole, certainly you can try and pursue things, but you don't want to be overpaying for a guy who's like a 79, 77 overall, something like that. My philosophy is you look for really high-end tier guys, top of the line free agents who could come in. They're impact players right away. They're going to start no matter what, and you can get those guys. But if you're starting to kind of fill out the roster in free agency, all you're doing is creating salary cap problems because those players are going to cost more. Even a backup is going to cost more than a guy you draft in the later rounds. Even round 2 and beyond are going to make less than $1 million. And so it's much more cost effective to do that. Now, huge asterisk, we only have a handful of draft picks, and most of them are in round 6 and 7. I think we have like 2 6th rounders. Let me just double check that. So our draft picks, again, it's not pretty right now. We have a 1st, then it skips to 4th. We have a 6th, and then 2 7ths. So, I mean, we're talking like 3 scrubs, probably a project player, and a really, really good player if we keep this pick. But if we trade down, we can probably fill this out a little bit more. So, again, free agency, we're probably looking at some high-end free agents who will pop up. The goals that our GM have given us, there's 3. A wide receiver of 85 or higher, a right guard of 85 or higher, and I think we can find those guys. I think Isaac Bruce, we looked at the last stream, he's older. He's a 1-year stopgap for us. I don't really want to go after Dante Stallworth, who's a really good player, but I really want to see what we have in Johnny Lee Higgins and McVoy, I think was the other receiver. They have really nice potential. So let's see how those guys develop here. They don't have much experience under their belt, but we can see how they develop. And in the same time, we can bring in Isaac Bruce, a veteran receiver that Jamarcus Russell hasn't had before, especially at his sort of caliber. It can be a nice stopgap for us for this 2008 season, and then we can reassess next year. We could also maybe bring in a guy like Donnie Avery, but he's really the only receiver I think we saw that would be at that 85 or higher that we think would be a good fit for the team, right? So, and then the other goal was a quarterback who's 85 or higher, but we're not going to really mess with that because we're going to roll with Jamarcus Russell. That's kind of the whole theme of this entire franchise here. So the first thing that comes up in free agency, you can see, it's Asante Samuel. So check this out, right? If we go to roster, I believe we can see the free agents listed. Yeah, we can. So as we know, we're really looking to sign Asamoah. And these guys are neck and neck. They're the same age. I mean, Asamoah is a bigger player. And to me, it's like I would probably prefer to be loyal, but I think we need to do our due diligence and compare these guys because we need to go after one. We got about $30 million in cap space. Again, high-end player. We're not going to get a guy like this in the draft. I don't care where we pick. I mean, this guy's a total. He can shut down half the field. So his production grade's lower. We talked about why that is, though, on the last stream. He's just been very, very shut down. They don't throw it a lot to him. So again, he's got better size. Learning's about the same. A little bit less durability, but nothing crazy. What I really like about him is this. I can roll with whatever I want, man or zone. Here, you're very limited, strictly just to man coverage. So that, to me, right there, already tells me that I'd rather pass on Asante Samuel. I think the scary part is if we pass on Asante Samuel and we don't sign him, and what if we lose out on Asamoah? Now we're left with neither of these guys. But we have depth at corner. We would survive if we didn't sign him. Toughness, injury, he's got a better injury rating. So, yeah, and he's better jumping at 6'2". I mean, this guy's a freak. Like, we have to give him a shot. So, with that said, we're not going to sign Samuel, but I'm going to show you what free agency looks like in this game because it's really cool and it's very different, and you have to think really fast. Basically, it's a bidding system. You're going to jump in and it's going to show all the different teams who are interested, and it's just like an auction, right? It's going once, going twice, and it just goes back and forth. And you hit X to raise your bid, you raise the bid. After that, you've won the bid. It doesn't mean you signed the player, but you've won the right, and this is where it gets a little video game-ish, but you've won the right to negotiate with that player. Now, if you don't come into an agreement, and again, it's based on their personality. If you're too stingy, they might say, hey, piss off, I'm not signing here. They will re-enter free agency, right? So you're only bidding to win the rights for the player. So let's jump into Asante Samuel. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm not going to actually bid on him, but we can kind of watch the different teams, and then after we back out of that, you'll probably see on the bottom ticker there, it'll say like, Kansas City Chiefs or whoever signed him, and they might even pop up for some of these big free agents, a little news story or whatever from Adam Schefter. So let's take a look. So we're entering.
Coach, the bidding is about to begin.
So again, I can join, I can hit dismiss. He's looking for 5 years, $41 million. But let's just jump in. Let's see what he ends up getting, because it's probably going to be a very, very similar contract demand to Asamoah. So there's the teams at the top, right? There's 12 teams interested. Seattle, currently, highest bid, but no one's even up to what he's looking for. Miami, we're down to 8 teams. 50 seconds left. Seattle bids again. Now Atlanta. Notice the Patriots aren't even in there. So the Patriots are letting them go. Teams are backing out. It's down to Houston. Cincinnati, Miami looking to spend some money. So now they're up. Okay, so it's going to be the Titans. So he will most likely be signing with the Tennessee Titans. So eventually it's going to lock you out. And there it goes. So notice it doesn't even go down at the end of the timing. Now watch it. Yeah, so it just said they signed him on the bottom of the screen there. It just said it. So he has signed. Here's our moment, right? Before we jump into this, let us take a look at our salary cap status. We got money to spend. We have about $30 million in cap room. Again, let's just say, I mean, there's only really 3. I mean, we're going to sign a few more players, but we want a receiver, a left tackle probably, and a right guard and this corner. And I think we can certainly do that within $30 million. So, but we have to be careful though, because you will run out of money pretty quickly. We also have some players we can release to free up a little bit more money. But let's jump in. I plan to be pretty aggressive with this. I want to sign this guy. He can shut down half the field for me. That opens up so much when you're calling a defense, when you know the one side of the field is basically being handled. Every team's top receiver is being handled. So 5 years, $41 million. You can see we already have pretty nice depth here. But dang it, I mean, Asamoah is just too awesome of a player. You knew I was going to say that. All right, Lions, I'm outbidding you. So let's just jump in here. Maybe sit back a little bit, see if some teams bail. We're going to 36. I'll take the 39. Ooh, there you dang. Okay, we're definitely going up. All right, we got him.
Oakland's strategy in the bidding war was simply pay whatever we need to. In the end, it walked away with the right to negotiate with one of the offseason's biggest free agents. It'll begin work on a contract immediately.
I'm Tony Dungy, and you're watching NFL Network.
So again, this is pretty cool now. So it's going to pull up a big list. You'll scroll top to bottom. It's going to bring up all these different things. But it will be, make no mistake, it will be what we said, 5 years, $43 million. I can't change that part. But you'll see this game has incentives, contract incentives. And so he's going to probably scroll to the very bottom of this list because that's the most expensive, incentive-laden contract that you can get. But it's also really important, as we looked at the last stream, we have to kind of know this player's personality. Now, he's not on the Raiders technically anymore. He is a free agent. But you got to know because, you know, you can roll the dice a little bit with some guys. And maybe if they're a little bit shy in negotiations and things like this, but you have to really know what you're going up against here. So when we look at personality, all right, he's conservative, he's humble, he's realistic, contented, problem solver, he's patient, so he's willing to wait on a decision, he's level-headed, he's shrewd, he's a very adept negotiator, gets what he wants or walks away. We looked at that when we decided not to franchise tag him. He's sensitive, tends to take things personally, reacts to situations, okay? So like this guy can definitely walk away from us, right? He won't budge once his mind is made up. This guy's too good. And it's a 5-year deal. He'll only be 31 when it ends. So, I mean, I'll, try to talk him down a little bit.
Coach, we're about to start this negotiation.
But at the same time, like, he does kind of control the situation. I mean, I like to be shrewd. I like to be stingy a little bit. But, I mean, I know my limits. This guy holds the cards. He's that good. So let's see what he wants. So again, he scrolls to the very bottom package. And you'll notice I have 50 seconds or so to get this done. So $42 million over 5 years is what it's going to be. I misspoke and said 43. But he wants all these different incentives, 10 interceptions, 50 tackles. I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to give you that whole thing, signing bonus of 18, but let's just take off the incentives. I don't want to tie up money on incentives. Oh, nice. Okay, so he took it. Sweet.
The Raiders scheduled a press conference for 3 p.m. Eastern to announce the signing of one of the offseason's biggest free agents.
Excellent. So we got him. A lot of times I'll scroll all the way back up to the top and say, okay, you want the biggest deal? I'm going to give you the smallest one. And you kind of start from there. I was really worried about him walking away. And he's a player I wanted to sign. I did not. And I don't know if the game would like lock you out from trying again. So again, I was just like, look, you deserve this money. 18 million signing bonus. That's fine. I don't plan on ever cutting him. I don't really care. I just said, hey, can you take off the incentives so that we're not tying up our salary cap with money that might not ever be spent? Because you have to save that money, right? You have to make sure that you have that money to pay out to the player. So luckily he accepted it. We just signed by far our biggest free agency target, and I'm feeling pretty good. Lance Briggs, again, I don't really think it's the guy we're going to go after. We can pull up his thing, but I mean, I think we're okay. We talked about this already. We're okay at outside linebacker. If we needed one, I mean, 25 years old, he's an 89, yeah, for sure. But again, I think we're okay. You can see those are all of our linebackers. Because I play so much nickel, I don't want to tie up all this money into a linebacker that might only play on first and second down. So we are going to pass, but yeah, we can jump in. Let's see who signs Lance Briggs here. The Bears are not even in the picture. Well, maybe they are. There's 11 teams, so there's a ton of interest in this guy. A lot of time left. Down to basically 8 teams. We're not going to bid on them. Patriots have just dropped out. Look at my Lions. Oh, jinxed them. A lot of AFC teams. Oh, who's it going to be? Buffalo or the Saints? Look at them going back and forth. That's so cool. Oh, and Buffalo's going to get him. So there you go. So he will sign with Buffalo. You'll see it there on the bottom. It should say, yep, Lance Briggs, as he has agreed to a deal with the Bills. Now, center is a position we could definitely take a look at. Hank Fraley. Again, our offensive line is kind of bad. But could we live with what we currently have at center? At least until after the draft, maybe. I mean, this guy's starter potential. 1 year left. He doesn't make a ton of money. His run blocking, I mean, he's just not a great blocker. It's really weird. He doesn't really have like huge size or anything. Hank Fraley. Let's see who's even available at center. I wish these guys, sometimes it's tough because they come up in an order that you're not really prepared for. Because I don't know. If we had the money, I would sign him, but like I just don't know. So here are the free agents. The guy who just popped up, Hank Fraley, was it? Where is he though? Huh, that's weird. He's not. Maybe it's because he's in that actual menu. But I'm not really looking at guys who are below. We kind of already have a guy like this. I don't want to overpay for someone just in their 80s. But maybe Jeff Fain, if we have some money, we could throw it at. Do any of these guys have high? Yeah, they're all pretty decent blockers, though. But really weird that we don't see the guy that's actually up on the screen, unless I'm just blind missing him. But Hank Fraley. Oh, this is a trade. That's why. That's a trade. Okay. And what was I see? That's why he's not showing up. So he's an overall 84. I mean, no, I'm not going to trade this. He's an 84. But it does remind me we can actually update our. We should be able to update our trade block now. I think. Yeah, here we can finally upgrade this. So we don't really have a ton, but we can add some guys here. We'll just quickly go through position by position. I'm going to keep both those quarterbacks. I definitely think we could trade Lamont Jordan if somebody wants him. Also Dominic Rhodes. I doubt anybody wants these guys, but the other two we have plans for. I don't need two fullbacks. Oops, not him. We'll keep the younger one. If somebody wants our backup, awesome. And actually, I actually don't mind keeping him. He's actually a pretty good receiver. So if we don't pick up another running back, he could actually help fill out. We could keep just 3 halfbacks and 2 fullbacks. Or whatever. But yeah, we're going to keep him for now. Receiver, we're going to need those guys. Tight end, no one's going to bother trading for those scrubs. I'm going to keep him. We're going to keep him. We're going to keep him. I mean, if somebody wants Cooper Carlisle, he makes a lot of money. Sure, we'll move him. There's not much of a penalty attached with him. Can't really move him yet until we know we're getting another tackle. Gotta keep him. Gotta keep him. I'm gonna keep all 3 of those defensive tackles. One of the biggest reasons is just the penalty on these guys is pretty high. So we're not really looking to move him yet. Again, we're gonna need some guys there. Not trading him. I don't think we want to trade him. Let's see. We probably could put a corner there though. But again, penalty for these guys, no way. Just looking at their like man coverage and zone. So I'm totally comfortable moving Chris Johnson if we wanted. He's 28, he's just kind of buried. Man, none of these guys can really cover. So I'd trade really any of these guys. Sure, we'll throw him on there. I doubt anyone's going to trade for John Bowie, so let's leave that. Yeah, I would probably trade him. I really like Michael Huff, so no sense in keeping him buried, and we're okay with Schweigert. And I said it's kind of gimmicky to put your kicker when they're rated this high because I was having people offer me all kinds of crazy stuff for my 93 punter. So that's pretty good. But you can actually well, yeah, I don't want to trade for this guy, but if we ever come across a trade we're interested in, maybe we'll take a look. But I'm going to pass on trading for him because there's free agents available already. Well, let's see here. So Justin Smith. You know, I would like us to get another end, but we can't pay a guy this much money when he's just not going to be a full-time starter. He probably would be, but we already have guys we're paying money. So it's a little bit different signing a free agent versus signing a rookie who can develop for a little bit. This guy's 27. It'd be a waste of our salary cap space that's already starting to dwindle. So Justin Smith signs with the Bengals. Again, we're not going to need Eugene Wilson, but just to give you an idea, he's an 84 safety.
Free agency is in full swing, and it seems that another key player is now off the market. One of my sources told me this morning that a deal has been struck between a crucial free agent and the San Francisco 49ers.
So this is just kind of a late update. This is just kind of removing the players who were free agents. We also have an update here. Again, we re-signed Asamoah. Thomas Howard is upset a little bit because he doesn't think we have a lot of talent. And I'm thinking that's just because we had a lot of people just walk. We let all these guys go. These are just guys, again, just free agency that just fell off. So there's the Isaiah Juba. I'm going to say that, but he's the guy we put a tender on. So we'll see if we maybe get something for him. We're actually okay at left guard. We are okay at left guard. He's such a good player, but again, we have Robert Gallery who we're paying. He's a former first-round pick. I mean, I think we're paying him decent money, so I don't think it's something we should... Again, there's just so many other holes. Like, I would love to upgrade left guard a little bit, but and we not with that kind of bonus. He's got to play. So someone else can be lucky and get Alan Fenica. We're just going to dismiss that. Jordan Gross, we don't need a right tackle. We do need a left tackle. But he wants, again, I don't really want to sign. I like that we have a project left tackle right now, and we're pretty good at right tackle. So I don't want to block our project left tackle. I would like to buy him a year, though, to develop. So a 5-year deal, $6 million a year or so, we're going to pass on that. Flozell Adams. Now, again, a little bit different story here. I was going to say he probably wants a shorter deal. So 1-year deal. This would be a nice fit for us. Be a really nice fit because our left tackle is very developmental. He's got good potential, but he's just not there yet. Right? His potential to be a decent starter, but his run blocking is bad. His pass blocking is bad. Like I don't want to go into the season with this guy. Even though he's young, I kind of think Flozell Adams would be a nice player. Now, we like some left tackles in the draft, but if we were to sign Flozell Adams, we wouldn't have to worry about picking a left tackle. And really, maybe we shouldn't because we already have a 22-year-old project. So I think Flozell Adams could be a really nice fit for us. Look at that run blocking, pass blocking. I mean, this is a guy I think we want to go after, especially because he's not asking for a ton. Was it $4 million? So where's our salary cap status here? Our salary cap status, again, we still have $21 million. So we still need to sign a guard and receiver, which we haven't seen pop up yet. But I think this is a guy that we want to jump in on. So 4.9, it's kind of a lot, but maybe it won't get that high. He's 32. We'll try to be aggressive here to keep that cap down. 4.9, gosh, he's going to cost a little bit more than I want. I don't really want, gosh.
The bidding is over, and one team has emerged as the winner in the race to sign one of the offseason's most coveted free agents. We'll wait and see if a deal can get done between this difference maker and the Raiders.
John Gruden, you're watching.
So again, you might be saying, well, gosh, this game, you can get anybody you want. Well, yeah, you can. You just keep bidding. I mean, it's just like a real auction. The thing is, though, you have to pay for it. So sure, you'll win every time, but you still have to pay for it. And what I'm checking here is like his durability. So his durability looks okay. Injury 78. So again, before we go into negotiate, let's just make sure. Let's see how his. Again, it's only a 1-year deal, so I still think he's a good fit. He's got a bad right arm, but again, I just think our offense really needs some help, and I really think that he can be just a good fit for us, obviously. So he's got the elite size that we look for. I mean, he's just a really good fit for us. So. And again, we haven't even cut people yet, so we have more money than I think we really realize.
We're about to go over his contract. Care to sit in?
Oh, you know what? We didn't look at his he had a Titan personality, but I don't exactly know what that is. So as far as this game is concerned, let's just see if there's like how conservative or aggressive we can be with his contract offer. So as you open up the player profile again, you can scroll down to personality and just get a quick idea. He's driven, he's ambitious, calculating. I was in the same page as the rest of the team. Okay. Perfectionist, he's sensitive. So I think he'll be okay. I don't think we need to get, like I said, I really try not to offer people incentives. It's just money I don't want to spend.
He's ready to negotiate the terms of his contract, so let's lock him up.
And I don't plan to cut him, so I don't care what I'll give him whatever bonus he wants. So he wants 1.5. I mean, let's try the whole, see, I'll give him 1.5 million. Let's work from the bottom though. I'll go this one here. So 5.6. He's asking for. Oh, that is the same thing. So basically, we're giving him what he wants, just no incentives. No, but you're close. Would you accept this one? Come on, dude. I don't want to do incentives. Dang it! Starting 16 games. This is tricky, right? I do think he's going to walk away if we don't say it. I'm just going to take it. Damn. Oh, that's annoying. But it's okay. I think we'll have the space for that. I definitely paid him a little bit more than I wanted. But it's a 1-year deal. I would not have done that if it was a multi-year deal. Free safety we're going to be okay at. Good player, though. But we're going to dismiss. Can't handle in there. Halfback. Again, I think I'm okay. I certainly don't want to pay a 30-year-old halfback. So, no thanks. This is a trade. Again, I'm not really looking to make trades unless they come to me about a player, because we need receiver, but again, I'd rather sign somebody. So that is what Sinian, Sonoris Moss. We're gonna pass. He's 22 though.
Negotiations seemed to have broken down last night. It looked hopeless, but I just received word, unexpectedly, that an agreement was finalized at the last possible minute. Both sides conceded on key issues to get the deal done, preventing a huge loss for the Broncos.
I passed on that younger receiver just because we already have a couple of project receivers. So.
Negotiations seemed to have broken down last night. It looked hopeless, but I just received word, unexpectedly, that an agreement was finalized at the last possible minute. Both sides conceded on key issues to get the deal done, preventing a huge loss for the Raiders.
I'm Ken Wisenhunt, and you're watching NFL Network.
Same thing. We already have a running back like this. I don't want to. There's quite a few later running backs that I like. Okay, Isaac Bruce is the guy we did say we'd like to get. Again, he's going to satisfy an owner goal, which is super nice. He wants a very similar contract. We have the money still. Again, we haven't cut anybody yet. So really the same thing here. I think we just try to go and get him. Let's try to get some of these teams to drop out. Okay, so... Man, these vets costing me some money. All right, Isaac Bruce, let's get this done.
I've got to take care of this contract, Coach. Care to join in?
Absolutely, I want to join in. I don't trust you. So he doesn't want any incentives. Again, he's only a 1-year deal. I'm not going to cut him. I don't care how much of the bonus. It's the same contract. It's just how much money up front. So Sure. That's fine with me. Hey! Goal completed. Our approval went up from 46 to 48, so staff change plus 13. Very happy that we met that season goal. Players maybe not as happy. Again, maybe bringing in a veteran, less playing time for the young kids there, but hey, gotta make everybody happy. So again, this is the goal we updated or upgraded here. Here is our goals in progress. The quarterback one we're going to fail, but I figure if we get 2 out of those 3, we got the receiver. If we can get the right guard one, the quarterback one we're most likely going to fail. There isn't a free agent, and I'm not picking a quarterback in the first round with Jamarcus Russell approaching his 2nd season here. So free agent bid. Again, nice player. Just don't need him. We need a guard, but again, the game's not going to give me credit if I sign a left guard. Even though he's a nice player, we got to pass. We got to wait for that Ben Kroll or Knoll or whatever.
The Finns scheduled a press conference for 3 p.m. Eastern to announce the signing of one of the offseason's biggest free agents.
John Gruden, you're watching NFL Network.
Ty Law, nice player, but we're just going to dismiss this, try to get through this a little bit quicker here. I definitely want to get a tight end too, I mentioned, but I don't want to pay for one in free agency just yet. Again, we don't need a linebacker. We don't need a kicker. Still don't need a kicker. Now we do need a right guard, but again, I don't think this guy's an 85. Yeah, so I can't really look at him. If I'm going to sign somebody, I want it to satisfy that goal. I don't want to get fired. There he is. This is our guy. So this is the guy again. Gonna have to just. He wants 4 years, 17 million. You know, you're looking at about 4 million or so, 4.25 per year. That's a lot for a guard, but he's only 23. So we are gonna try to sign him. Get out of my way, teams. Got an aggressive GM here. Everybody clear out. That's what we get him
Oakland's
for.
strategy in the bidding war was simply pay whatever we need to. In the end, it walked away with the right to negotiate with one of the offseason's biggest free agents. It'll begin work on a contract immediately.
I'm Tony.
But we have the
You're
room. I
watching
mean, he's
NFL
the
Network.
last guy like I definitely wanted to sign. And we talked about maybe getting a center, and we can already go through after we sign him. Maybe let's go through and we can even cut a few players if need be. Definitely have some options there. So
Want to join the negotiation, Coach?
yeah, I do. No incentives. Get out of here. Now this one does have a it matters, the signing bonus. So we're going to start him off low. That's too far off. You want 5.5, and you want okay. I'll come up a little bit. How about we do? How about this one? There. I feel like that's fair. I said his personality type mattered, like because he's like, yeah, I'll accept this, and you're lucky my personality type. So this is the same thing. We just looked at these, but the goals have been approved. So cool. We're up to a 51 approval. Until I don't sign that quarterback they want, and they're going to get pissed. But we're not signing a quarterback. Come on, that's ridiculous. We're not going to have the money at this point. Again, I would consider looking at center. We don't need defensive tackle. There's a lot of good players. So Dante Stallworth was the other receiver I was looking at. But you can see he wants 4 years. He's only 25. But I want to give Higgins and the other McVoy, I can't remember his name now, but give those guys a chance. So I think Stallworth would have blocked them a little bit too much. Plus, we're going to probably pick another project receiver in the draft potentially. So Dante Stallworth will go to a team and probably have a nice career with them. Turn up the speed here a little bit. Going fast. Okay, Pro Day Scouting we're at. Let's save our game here again. Pro Day Scouting. Probably take a look at a couple of these here. think this is pretty similar. Pro day scouting. I think this is like you can bring in anybody, and it's one
Coach,
player.
which pro day should the scouts attend?
Oh, yeah, that's what this is. So this lets you go attend a school's pro day, right? So there's some pros and cons as you look at the screen. You, of course, are looking at the number of prospects you'd see. So like in Miami, there's 6, Colorado 3, Northern Iowa. So again, obviously you'd think like, well, this school's got the most. That makes sense. But you're also looking at the average rating and even the average percentage scouted. Because if Miami's like average, if all their players are like, 6 overalls, like they're all terrible, then you probably don't want to waste your time there. Like there's probably some schools like Montana, not really great. There's only 2 prospects. But let's just say Montana had one of their 2 prospects was a guy like we absolutely loved, then maybe we would. So that's actually the first thing I usually look at on the screen is like, do any of these schools have a player that I was definitely wanting to look at? And Miami is a yes, because I really like Kenny Phillips. And we get to learn more about that. They also just happen to have the 2nd highest overall rating, and they have by far the most prospects. So I think Miami makes a lot of sense here. So we're going to attend Miami's pro day. And then if you went through and if you went and looked at the scouting again, you're going to pretty much see, we're not going to look at every single player, obviously, but we'll just look at, so Kenny Phillips, he's 92. This is about as close as you can get without bringing him in for like a personal visit. You learn everything but their potential, basically. We don't know his intangibles because I don't think he was at senior day. But we know just about everything about this guy now. And actually, maybe I didn't really help myself here because I think we already knew all of this stuff. We didn't really learn anything new about him. But again, it did certainly impact the other players from Miami. And we'll look at that stuff as we get into the draft. We don't need to go through all these different players who may or may not even be on our team. Now, Kevin Falk is an interesting guy. I mentioned I like running or throwing the ball to receivers. He is one of the best pass-catching running backs, but he's 31. He's 31. Let's take a look at his contract. Because again, that's going to be a big part of it is if he's got a big contract, we can't afford to bring this guy on. So his cap hit is 2.9. Actually, he wouldn't cost much at all because that bonus, he actually wouldn't cost much at all. But I really don't like running backs this old. His career stats. He's always been kind of a split carry guy. But he's also been a really good receiver. So 2008. So yeah, okay, he still would make some money. 2.5. No incentives. Not great health. I mean, I really like his. I seem to recall he has really good catching. He's not super fast, but really nice awareness. Yeah, his catching is just crazy. Really great vision. But I don't know, just injury ratings low. It just doesn't have great stamina. I'm not. He's a free agent maybe, but I'm not trading. I mean, I guess we could take. I don't know. I don't really want to trade for this guy. So I'll say maybe we could just see if they wanted like one of our dudes on the trade block. I guess we'll just take a look. But trading works very similar to the signing. So right, like these are packages, but I'm not doing anything with draft picks in it for this guy. So this is probably going to go rather quickly because I think all of these are including draft picks. Yeah, these are all with draft picks. No thanks. But if it was something like, hey, well, one of the guys you want to cut, sure, probably do something like that. And as you get down, of course, these packages get bigger. But yeah, there's nothing here that we want to do. So we're going to back out. I think Adam Schefter's going to freak out because we backed out of the negotiation. But best trades are sometimes the ones you never make.
The Oakland Raiders backed out of trade negotiations earlier this afternoon, citing an extremely high asking price. No word yet if they'll still pursue other trade offers.
I'm Eric Manzini, and you're watching NFL Network.
So again, he wants, close to $4 million a year. It's just a lot back then. I'd still rather bring on a rookie or just kind of roll with what we have. Like, I like it second tight end, but yeah, I just can't pay a tight end two that much money. So we've definitely filled some nice holes so far. We have another pro day. Again, we don't need a middle linebacker. We'll skip on that. So another pro day here, and you get like 20.
Hey, Coach,
pro
what
days.
school should we send our scouts to?
Hey, Kentucky. We like that one quarterback, right? San Diego State isn't one of the receivers we like from San Diego State. But I still would rather probably do Kentucky's got the most too. Yeah, let's get a closer look at that quarterback.
The Panthers scheduled a press conference for 3 p.m. Eastern to announce the signing of one of the offseason's biggest free agents.
I'm Eric Mangini, and you're watching
Roselle
NFL
Adams already
Network.
pissed. He's already mad because of the talent. It's like, well, you signed the contract. You know where you're going. It's not like we traded for you. So, again, personalities, right? Different players are going to react different ways. It's a really cool feature in this game. So we don't need these guys. We already got a tackle. Too old. Ooh. We were looking at, was it Jeff Fain? Yeah, this is a guy. I mean, he would max out a lot of our salary cap. Let's see. What's our salary cap status? Just I'm really big on offensive line. We still got $6 million left, so we can afford him.
The Raiders, in one of the offseason's biggest free agents, have agreed on a deal that will be officially announced later today. Fans on the team website are thrilled with the signing, crediting the owner and the GM for the big acquisition. It cost a lot, but right now everyone is extremely excited.
So, like, we can cut Lamont Jordan right now, which is something I think I would like to do. It's a matter of, do we wait to see if someone offers us a trade? None of these other guys, again, same thing. I really don't think Dominic Rhodes isn't going to probably get a trade offer, so let's release him at least. It will save 4. We'll have to pay a penalty of, and that's still worth it. So Rhodes is gone. That frees up a lot. Yeah, the only other guy to consider trading is Lamont Jordan, but I'm hoping somebody like throws us like a 6th-round pick or something. So let's see if we can get Fain signed here. Now we have close to, yeah, we can do this. 3 years. Is he actually a player we even like though? Like, can he actually block? Like, I don't know how the Raiders linemen are rated so high. Like, these guys can't even block. I guess just because size, right? It's because of our team philosophy. We just want guys who are big. We don't care if they can block. So his run blocking, he's an average run blocker at best. Can't really pass block. Oops. So Fain is the top center available. I mean, we're just going all in this year. Awesome run blocker, awesome pass blocker. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's give it a shot. Jeff Fain, baby. Let's see. Wants about $4 million a year. Come on, teams. 21 teams are interested in this guy? Dang. Might as well sit tight here and see if some others drop out. Here we go. Oops. So we're at 4-2. A lot of teams. Okay, we got it.
Oakland's strategy in the bidding war was simply pay whatever we need to. In the end, it walked away with the right to negotiate with one of the offseason's biggest free agents. It'll begin work on a contract immediately.
I'm Gary Kubiak, and you're watching the NFL Network.
So that 90 speed...
Coach, the scouts need to know what pro day to attend.
That 90 speed quarterback, Josh Johnson, right? He was San Diego, USD here. So I'd like to attend this one, see if we can learn more about him. Because none of these other schools are really all that enticing. Oh my gosh, we're signing so
We've got a
many
contract
dudes.
to take care of, Coach.
You and your damn incentives. How about we start here? Oh, nice. Personality made this really easy. All right, cool. We are just about out of money. I just hope it saved money for our rookies. But yeah, we still got $6 million, and we can still cut Lamont Jordan, so we're okay. We'll be totally fine. Especially we don't have many draft picks to begin with, so this team's looking good. Bulked up the offensive line. We signed a left tackle, a center, and a right guard. A receiver to come in and kind of be a bridge to those higher potential guys, help Jamarcus Russell out a little bit. And what else did we sign? Is that it? I think that might be it. Yeah, that's what we got so far, but pretty good overall. Ooh,
the Giants scheduled a press conference for 3 p.m. Eastern to announce the signing of one of the offseason's biggest free agents.
So we're going to get an offer for Chris Johnson here, who is literally our 4th corner. We have a bit of a drop-off, so it would be, we trade one of these guys. There's no penalty for trading him. He's 28 as well, so, I mean, he is probably the guy I'd rather trade. We need draft picks. So you can also, ask teams to bring better offers. Something I've been kind of doing as a house rule of mine, because I get the feeling it's pretty easy to, bully teams, is I don't know if I want to completely implement this, but, I don't really want to, nickel and dime teams. Let's just take a look and see. We can kind of see how it goes. I want it to be a fair trade, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't want to always take advantage. But I want draft pick. That's really all I want. And that's what we're getting some offers for. So there's a lot of teams interested. A lot of 7ths. So I could go through each of these teams and say, increase your offer. And some of these teams are going to say, piss off. And other ones will say, no, that's fine. But I already feel like these are pretty good offers, honestly. So, I mean, this is definitely the better deal. 186 in the 6th round, but God, these 6th rounds suck. All 7th and 6th. I mean, I can always go back. Let me increase your offer. They're going to stand pat. Increase your offer. We've increased it. Yeah, it's still pretty blah. I'm trying to get a 5th. I don't want to do the whole request a specific offer. I feel like that's really unfair. A lot of 6th and 7ths. 2 7ths. They're going to stick with it. So, I mean, we're getting a 6th and a 7th again. 184. Actually, I kind of almost like this one more. It gives us an extra pick next year. We already have so many late picks. Oh, these are both for next year. That's interesting. But I think I'd like one for each. So it might be this deal with Dallas. Even though it's a little bit later, I kind of like bumping that other pick back a year. Yeah, let's do this. All right, deal. Got a couple more draft picks. Maybe that could help us move up. We're going to pass. Pass. We're not really signing anybody else at this point. Trent Green, we do need, we're supposed to sign a quarterback, but he's nowhere near as good as we need.
Coach, which pro day should the scouts attend?
So, again, a lot of pro day stuff happening. LSU, I know they have they have Dorsey, the defensive tackle. Florida, Clemson. Florida has Caldwell, the receiver we were looking at. It's hard to pass up 10, though. You get so much information. I mean, we got to go with 10. It's just too many. So, it pretty much kind of repeats itself. Kevin Jones, we looked at, a really nice young running back, but it's got that crazy, crazy leg injury. Like one of the most injured players I've seen here in free agency. But basically, we've seen it says 45 days until the draft. It starts to go pretty quick once you get through these senior scouting, or whatever they're called, the campus, not campus visits, what are they called? Pro days. Once you get through those pro days, it starts to go pretty quickly. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this episode here. I will probably go through and do the rest of those pro scouting days because, again, it's not that exciting to watch. But I think episode 5, you betcha, is going to be the draft. So maybe tomorrow, maybe later tonight. I don't know. I apologize for not having an exact schedule with this, but I'm just kind of playing it when I find some time, and it's pretty damn hot out today, and with nowhere to really go, and beaches are closed and everything. I'm sitting home playing NFL Head Coach, a game that's older than probably some of you maybe, but I guess probably not. But anyway, we're going to resume this. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys watching this. I'm getting feedback on the YouTube channel. I have a lot of people messaging me on Twitter and different things. So I will be doing the MLB The Show franchise stream later today, just about an hour or so. And I'm going to be starting up a NCAA 14 kind of coach career as well. So look for some details on that. But anyway, you can find out more about all of this and all the different leagues we're doing at simsportsgaming.com. I say it every time. Just check that out. There's lots of info there. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel. That definitely helps, and it's probably the least obnoxious way to get pinged on different things with all that. So be safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. And episode 5 will be here soon enough, and it's going to be the draft. So see you then.